Welcome back everyone, it's Eric from Ericanny, and today we have our first Unbroken Bonds entry into our testing round series. So if you guys are unfamiliar with this testing round series that we do on the channel, we typically try to feature some early, kind of unrefined lists to show off some new archetypes and decks from a new set, and we try them out to see what might have some potential for competitive play. So here in this entry on the left you have yours truly. I'm going to be playing the new Honchkrow GX, and then over on the right we have Jeremy Small, who is a local player from my area. He was nice enough to help me record this video. He's going to be playing Spiritomb Stunfisk. So pretty interesting matchup that we have going on here. The Stunfisk deck can take, one shots on Honchkrow GX, but over on the flip side, Honchkrow GX can actually lock out special energies, which Jeremy is going to be kind of reliant on. So we'll have to see how this is going to play out, but definitely I think both decks here have some outs to one another. So here, it looks like I'm going to get to go first. Going to play down a Nest Ball, so immediately going to target down Murkrow. And then from there you can see I'm playing a new card called Duskstone that we're getting in the set. So it allows you to evolve a Murkrow, Misdreavus, Lampent, or Doublade immediately, and you get to search out the evolution out of deck and immediately evolve into it. So you can see I'm getting out that Honchkrow right away, and here you can see going for a Lele to play Lily. So this looks to be a pretty solid first turn so far for my deck. So the big thing with Honchkrow GX, like I mentioned, if it's your active Pokemon, its ability allows you to lock special energies, tool cards, and stadiums from your opponent's hand. So here I just need to find a switch. And it looks like I do find it. So this is a really oppressive first turn for this deck, actually. And here I'm going to play the switch, getting out this Honchkrow GX, and then from there I can play a Nest Ball. So here it looks like I'm going to be eyeing down an Alolan Grimer. So I know Jeremy's deck is going to be, kind of based around a lot of basic abilities like Stellar Wish on Jirachi and also the Spiritombs. So I want to try to set up this Alolan Muck at some point as well here. So going on over to Jeremy's turn, this is definitely a rough first turn for him because, I was able to get the Honchkrow up and running. So now he can't play any of those double colorless energies, rainbow energies, skateboards, choice bands, all the stuff he would normally want to play down. But this deck does run multiple copies of dark energy in addition to like rainbows and double colors. So he does still have ways to attack. It's definitely going to be a little bit clunkier for him though. But we have to remember too, this ability is only when Honchkrow is active. So Jeremy can also still just Guzma around Honchkrow and break the lock that way. And here it looks like he's debating attaching to the Spiritomb. I'm not sure how much I like that, however. Just because the Spiritomb's really not going to be doing that much damage this turn. And basically all of his dark energies are very precious resources at this point. And here you can see he's kind of debating, do I really want that down on the Spiritomb here? And so if I'm in Jeremy's spot, I definitely want to see him hold that. Okay, or just move to the bench one. That is also fine as well. So Spiritomb, really quick, if you guys are unfamiliar with it, has an ability. You get to put a damage counter on itself once during your turn before you attack. And then its attack is 10 plus 30 more for every damage counter on Spiritomb. So you can see the obvious synergy there. He's going to need a couple turns to really, get enough damage on here to make it worthwhile to attack into Honchkrow. So here we're going to see an Ultra Ball. It's going to get rid of a Guzma. That is unfortunate. And let's see what else he gets rid of here. So I see an Electro Power in his hand, see Double Colorless Energy, see Hustle Belt, okay. So let's see what he's going to get rid of. He's going to get rid of the Electro Power. I don't mind that at all. And I don't know. Okay, he's going to get rid of the Guzma. I kind of maybe would have liked to have even seen the Hustle Belt go, but I don't know. At the same time, if he can ever get that down on Spiritomb, that would be really good. So let's see what he's going to go for here. Looks like he's eyeing himself down a Stunfisk potentially. Okay, but he's going to go for a Spiritomb, and I actually do like that too because, he can see that I have this Alolan Grimer in play, so I'm threatening like a turn 2 Muck potentially, and he really wants to be able to use these abilities while he still has access to them. And here it just looks like a pass. And here I draw a Crushing Hammer, and oh, that is a big heads right there. getting rid of that dark energy. I believe the list that I have Jeremy playing over there only has 3. So all of these dark energies are going to be very precious. So right now you can see my deck's kind of just firing off on all cylinders right now. And here I'm debating, do I want to play Ultra Ball before Lily or after? And I mean, this is fine, but at the same time, I think I probably should have Ultra Ball first. The reason I played Lily first instead of Ultra Balling was because I didn't want to discard DCEs and the Guzma that I had in hand. So I was like, you know what, well, if I Lily, I can draw maybe some cards I don't mind discarding. And I did draw some. I got rid of a Murkrow and a Duststone. Don't really mind losing those right now. But at the same time, I wasn't able to draw that many cards for turn, and now I don't have a draw supporter, which is pretty bad. So I'm kind of just hoping that with this Alolan Muck online and this lock that I have on Honchkrow, I'll be able to just kind of coast on my top deck for a few turns before really needing some other resources here. So let's see what Jeremy is going to do at this point. He's definitely in a bad spot. This Alolan Muck is really going to be a problem for his deck here. He's no longer able to put those damage counters on Spiritomb. And, you know, he still can't play special energies or anything like that, so he's definitely in a bad spot. But here we're just going to see a Cynthia, just to refresh his hand and draw 6. I believe he did have a Guzma in hand, but he didn't have an energy to actually be able to attack with, so he just has to refresh his hand for a fresh hand of 6 here. So let's see what he's going to do here. He's going to get down, looks like a Spiritomb and a Stunfisk. And we actually see a dark energy in his hand, so that's definitely what he likes to see. Those are going to be precious resources. He definitely, I think, should hang on to that, though, just in case of another Crushing Hammer. Or if he is going to attach it, I definitely think he needs to attach it to the Stunfisk. That's going to be one of the main ways he can kind of get back into this game here. Since the Stunfisk can hit for weakness. So I'm not sure what else he could really do. We're probably just going to see a pass unless he does decide to attach that dark energy. Because he already played a supporter, so he can't do that. Okay, so here we're just going to see a pass. Back over to my turn. Still don't have a supporter, but here I'm going to get down a double Colress energy on this Tapu Lele, just to start powering up a backup attacker if needed. So it looks like Jeremy's going to promote the Spiritomb. Honestly, I'm not sure how much I really like that, though. I kind of want to see him promote this Stunfisk here. And okay, looks like he's kind of debating on it, and yeah, he is going to go for the Stunfisk. That's fine by me. One thing to keep in mind, guys, too, a lot of times these are our first couple of times ever playing with these decks, so, you know, expect a couple of misplays, or even, like, plays that we reverse halfway through, just because we want to kind of get decent testing results here. So it's just something to kind of keep in mind as we do go through this testing rounds video here. But yeah, Jeremy actually found Electro Power, which is huge, because that's now going to allow him to two-shot this Honchkrow GX. So let's see, he's going to play Energy Lotto. Ooh, and I do see his other Dark Energy there, so I definitely want to see him grab that. Looks like he might be eyeing himself down a Rainbow Energy. Not sure how crazy I am about that, because yeah, if he grabbed the Dark Energy, he would actually be able to knock out this Honchkrow on the next turn. So yeah, maybe he's thinking about going for like a Guzma play or something and attaching a Rainbow. I don't know if he has Guzma in hand, but that would be the only reason I would think that. But at the very least, this turn he can do 120. The first attack on Stunfisk, it does 30 for 1 energy, and then you put 10 damage on one of your benched Pokemon. So if he does that, he's going to do 120 this turn, and then next turn, all he needs is, or all he would have needed to do is attach that Dark Energy, and he'd be able to finish off this Honchkrow. So let's see what he's going to opt to do here. Okay, I think we're seeing him attack. Yeah, like I say, he's going to do 120 to the Honchkrow due to weakness, and he's going to get that 10 damage down on Spiritomb. So I still don't have a draw supporter, but luckily I have kind of enough to work with in the meantime. To maybe hold myself over for another turn or so. So what do? We have Ultra Ball. I kind of want to thin some cards out of my hand. So we're going to Ultra Ball. I think get rid of the Buzzwole is good. Probably the Baby Honchkrow too. Because now what we can do is we can go for a Murkrow, and then we can use Duskstone to get another Honchkrow, thinning another card out of the deck, you know, maybe increasing our odds of drawing into a supporter. So I have Guzma in hand, but I want to hang on to that. This Stunfisk is definitely the primary threat that we have here. And I'll probably just have to do just 90 damage to it because Honchkrow's attack, it's for a Darkened Double Colorless, does 90, and then 30 to 2 of your opponent's benched GXs or EXs. Now, unfortunately, Jaime doesn't have any of those, so it's just going to be 90, which, you know, feels kind of bad that I'm having to two-shot this Stunfisk here. But let's see what Jaime's going to do. You know, if he can find another Electro Power, he can actually just knock out this Honchkrow. Or if he has a way to find that other Dark Energy, he can also just take a knockout that way as well. And if he can knock out this Honchkrow, honestly, I think he has a chance to get back into this game. Because right now, too, my hand is really not good at all. You know, I have literally just a lone Guzma in there, and then the only thing I can attack with is Tapu Lele. So if he were able to take a knockout, I can take a return KO, but I suddenly open up Jaime to being able to use all of these different cards I've been locking him out of using for so long here. So let's see, does he have... Ah, man, I guess he does not have the Electro Power. That is super unfortunate. And so here we're just going to see just 60 damage come down. That is so heartbreaking for him. And here my hand is still pretty bad, but luckily this Honchkrow is hanging in there. It's going the distance. So we're going to take another knockout, and here Jaime's going to promote that Stunfisk. Makes sense. It can take at least 2 hits. Or I should say it can take at least 1 hit before getting knocked out. So yeah, no support the past couple turns for him. No energy. You know, we'll have to see what he's going to do, but right now he's in a bad spot. This is definitely kind of his window of opportunity to hop back into this game because I just don't have that much going on. I didn't get a good look at the prize that I drew for that last knockout. It looks like it might be a Murkrow. So, you know, even though I'm ahead on prizes, my board and hand are going to be pretty bad after this, but just a pass. That is rough. But luckily I do draw Black Market Prism Star, and I can just attack this Stunfisk for 90 here. So Black Market Prism Star, if you guys are unfamiliar with it, Stadium card, dark Pokemon with basic, not basic, but with dark energy attached to them, give up 1 less prize whenever they get knocked out. So turning this Honchkrow into a 1 prize attacker is pretty good. And here just a pass from Jaime, which is so unfortunate, and then just a knockout on this Stunfisk. So at this point, I really don't know what to say. I think this is going to be his last turn to really mount any sort of comeback here. If he can even, like, just attack with a Dark Energy or Guzma and attach Rainbow Energy to Mew's attack actually would allow him to snipe 3 damage counters on this Honchkrow to finish it off. So here, we're going to see another Stunfisk come down. And I believe that's really all Jaime has to work with. He's been just drawing so poorly these last couple turns. But like I said, not getting that Dark Energy really has come back to bite him here. Here, I'm going to take another knockout in Spiritomb. And we'll see what Jaime's going to promote. I think promoting Stunfisk is best. You know, it's going to give up... You know, it can take a hit before getting knocked out, so that's fine. And, you know, Jaime's playing in Nest Ball. He's had no issues finding Pokemon. You know, he's been thinning them out of his deck and, you know, doing the right things and playing to his outs these past couple turns, but just very unfortunate draws. Just a pass back to me, but I do have the Guzma, so I can just retreat and then bring up my Honchkrow again and take the final knockout. So yeah, Honchkrow took a pretty, you know, commanding victory that game. But like I said, though, if Jaime had been able to ever, you know, just knock out that one Honchkrow, he actually would have been in a pretty good spot. Just because my board in hand would have been pretty, you know, roughed up at that point. But this is going to be a best out of 3 series, guys, so Jaime definitely has some time to make a comeback in this series. So let's see what we're both going to start with. It looks like I'm going to have a mulligan. And I can't tell what's in Jeremy's hand. but I'm just going to shuffle up and try to get a fresh hand with an actual basic in it. So one thing that I actually could do that is one of the better aspects of going second with this deck is if I can start Murkrow and I can find Duskstone, DCE, and Marshadow, I can actually do some pretty degenerate plays where I can like let loose and use the GX attack on Honchkrow to discard 2 cards from their hand. But my hand unfortunately is pretty terrible. I have a Buzzwole start and I do have this Marshadow in hand at the least, but it's definitely not really what I want to see here. So it looks like Jeremy's going to start with Mew. Not a terrible card to start with, especially because he knows that I play a Tapu Koko promo in my list, and so Tapu Koko is actually really good at picking off all of those damaged Spiritombs, you know, if they ever get a lot of damage counters on them. So Mew's really not a card you mind having in play either. So here he's going to Ultra Ball, getting a Jirachi. That tells me he probably has like an Escape Board or a switching card in hand. So let's see what he's going to do. I think I see a Guzma in hand, but that's not going to be too useful. Okay, so he does have the switch, and so he will be able to make use of Stellar Wish here if he chooses to. So we're going to see that. He's going to look at the top 5 cards of his deck, picks a trainer card, and shuffles the rest back into his deck. So I see Energy Lotto, see Choice Band, see Nest Ball. That definitely seems good. He wants to get out those Pokemon as soon as possible here. So it looks like that is what he is going to go for. He's shuffling up, but he's probably just going to go right back into his deck to play that Nest Ball. So here, what does he get? Spiritomb or Stunfisk? I think the question really just comes down to what energy that he has in his hand. If he has double colorless energy, I might want to see Stunfisk, but here he's going to go for the Spiritomb. That's fine by me as well. That way he can start getting those damage counters down on Spiritomb before Alolan Muck comes into play. So right away, Jeremy's going to use that ability, get a damage counter on that Spiritomb. And I believe we see a Rainbow Energy in his hand as well. Looks like he's going to get that down on Spiritomb. That's going to get 1 damage counter closer to being able to do some more damage. One thing I kind of want to see him do, and okay, yeah, he does end up changing this. That's fine with me. He's going to get the energy down on Mew. And the reason for that is Mew has no reliable ways of getting damage to power up Stunfisk, so getting that damage counter down early is going to be pretty good to help him out here to do more damage with his Stunfisks throughout the course of this game. But here I'm going to go for an Ultra Ball, getting rid of Choice Band and Dark Energy, going for Lele, going to grab a Lily here. So I could have gone for a Murkrow and just played the Marshadow, but I kind of don't want to just because Jeremy didn't play a supporter on his turn, so I want to kind of limit you know, what his options are if possible. But unfortunately that Lily just did not get me where I wanted to be. You know, if I would have drawn a Murkrow, it would have been okay, but unfortunately I think I have to let loose here. And you can see Jeremy showed me his hand. It's just like 2 Guzmas and DCE. That is that feels bad. I would have definitely much preferred him to have that dead hand, but at the same time he has Jirachi in play, so it's not like he's just drawing dead. He can look at the top 5 cards of his deck every turn. And ouch, that hand is not so good. Actually, if that Honchkrow was a Murkrow, I would actually say that's a pretty great let loose, but unfortunately that is not the case. So here I'm just going to attack this Jirachi. I believe I actually take this back though, if I remember right. Okay, yeah, I do. And the reason for that is that's just 1 more Pokemon with damage counters on it that Stunfisk could potentially use to, you know, do a lot of damage. So the math is pretty irrelevant on the Jirachi, like having the 30 on it. You know, there are situations where a Lele with DC could clean it up, but I feel like it's more impactful just to not damage it at all here. And here, yeah, this is definitely what Jeremy likes to see. Found Stunfisk, Energy, Choice Band, Lily. He's kind of off to the races here, and he's getting another Spiritomb down, so that'll be good for him. Start getting damage counters on that one as well. So here you can see he's activating the ability on the other one as well. So he just needs to find himself like a switching card at some point here. So I think even if he does find one, I think you can make an argument for not switching and just keeping the Stunfisk out of harm's way. But at the same time, if you do switch into it, you can actually get damage counters down on this Jirachi and, you know, kind of just poke and soften up this Buzzwole here. So let's see what he can find here. I think I actually do see a switch in his hand as well. Alright, so we are going to see that. So we very well could see him switch into the Stunfisk this turn. Beyond that, if he can find a stadium, that would actually be good as well. That would prevent, you know, Honchkrow from locking out a stadium before he can get it down. Especially if he can get, like, Shrine of Punishment in play, that would be really big for him. So here looks like he is just going to use that first attack on Stunfisk, just poking, softening up this Buzzwole, and getting damage down on Jirachi. And here I do have a Crushing Hammer, so that's actually pretty good. If I can get rid of this DCE, that would be a huge play here. And unfortunately, a Tails. So now I'm in kind of a weird spot for this turn. Like, I want to Ultra Ball, I want to get energy down on a Murkrow, but at the same time, I really don't want to get rid of like a Honchkrow and a Duskstone. But I think I actually remember like kind of misplaying this turn. Yeah, so what I think I should have done, I think I honestly should have discarded the Duskstone and Honchkrow, getting a Murkrow down with the DCE. That way on the following turn, I can get out Honchkrow and knock out this Stunfisk, hopefully. So, I mean, I can still get a knockout with this Lele, but I think I was just playing a little too conservatively with my hand that turn. So I'll have to see if that comes back to bite me at all, but I definitely think I should have gotten out the Murkrow. It's going to be a very important card to step. I don't think I'm going to win this game just attacking with Lele's. I have to get out Honchkrow at some point to win this. So here Jeremy has Shrine of Punishment in play, and he's just going to play a Cynthia. So what does Jeremy really want this turn? Maybe just another Spiritomb. I could see that just to get some more damage counters on that. You know, maybe another energy in play. I could see that as well. The only sketchy thing about getting excess energies down is like if I take a knockout on the active and Crushing Hammer and energy on the bench, that feels really, really bad if that ever happens. So that is the danger to it, but I think it's still okay to get down extra energies just in case of an unexpected Honchkrow out of nowhere. But here, it's going to get down their Spiritomb. That's definitely good. And let's see, probably just going to see a knockout on this Buzzwole right now. You know, Jeremy's hitting for 180. All of his Pokemon are damaged, and that's not even factoring in Choice Band or Shrine of Punishment or Electro Powers. So this Stunfisk is definitely ready to do a lot of damage. So here I'm going to Ultra Ball, getting rid of a Honchkrow. That way I can use the Murkrow and immediately use Duskstone as well. But I honestly think this was a bit of a misplay, just because I forgot Jeremy does have that Shrine of Punishment in play, and that's going to actually soften up this Honchkrow, which is pretty bad. And then just a Lily. I do get to draw more cards with Lily. That is the upside to this, but still really not a fan. I definitely think I made a couple missteps on these last two turns. Like I said, I should have Ultra Balled the previous turn for Murkrow. That way this turn I could have potentially attacked with Honchkrow. So yeah, I'm definitely, I think, playing a little bit sloppy in this game here. I do apologize, guys, but like I mentioned too, these are usually kind of our first or like second times playing with these decks, so misplays are bound to happen a little bit here. So here I do end up getting an energy off the Let Loose. That was the big thing I was really looking for that turn. And here, just going to use Energy Drive and knocking out this Stunfisk. So here, I'm going to take some Shrine of Punishment damage. Now let's see how Jeremy is going to respond. He's going to promote the Jirachi. That kind of tells me he probably has a switching card in hand, or maybe an out to one. So let's see. I think I see a Nest Ball in his hand, if I'm not mistaken. So if that's the case, okay, he's going to play the Stunfisk, but I think I actually would have preferred to see him Nest Ball for a Stunfisk. That way he could thin his deck of one more card and have better odds of hitting like a better card off of Stellar Wish here. Or he might be, yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, I think that would have been better. Kind of a suboptimal misplay, I think, but it'll probably be fine for him. He's actually in a really good spot right now. So see Energy Lotto in his hand, and I did see Guzma in his hand as well. So if he can actually Energy Lotto into a DCE, he can actually just knock out this Honchkrow. And I think if that's the case, I think he just wins. I really don't have any great way of dealing with that. So he is going to go for the Energy Lotto, going to play it. Let's see what he can find off of these top 7 cards here. Okay, we see a Dark Energy, so it's not double colorless energy, but nevertheless, he can at least get energy down on Spiritomb and start doing some damage with that. That would be fine. So here he's going to use the abilities on each of these Spiritombs here. And okay, oh, I think he actually may have messed up here. The Spiritomb on the far end is supposed to just have 2 damage counters on it, not 3. Because that he was 1 behind on that one previously. So I guess he may have messed that up a little bit. I don't know how impactful that actually even is, but that 1 on the end definitely should be 2, not 3. But like I said, it probably doesn't even matter really in terms of how it'll affect the game. But anyways, he's just gonna like Guzma this Honchkrow right up, start targeting it down. He knows that's gonna be the big threat. He wants to get in the first hit in on this thing. So here, with the Spiritomb, he's going to be hitting for 130. Then with the Shrine of Punishment, it's going to do another 10 damage between turns as well. Now, the one awkward thing about this is that if I can find a double colorless energy and can knock out the Spiritomb, you know, he can't put down another double colorless energy to actually, or even like a rainbow energy to take a knockout. It's going to force him to need a basic dark energy. So I'm going to bench this Tapu Koko, just go for a Cynthia. We really need to hit double colorless energy this turn. You know, if we whiff that, we're going to be in some trouble. Or if we whiff, if we can just find a switch to bring up this Tapu Lele, that would also be kind of okay. And oh, that is an ugly, ugly hand. No energy whatsoever. So yeah, this is definitely a pretty bad turn. This is actually probably the point in the game where if this was like an actual tournament, like a best 2 out of 3 series, I would definitely just scoop up this game and go to game 3. I think whipping like the attack there is going to be just, I think, too bad to overcome at this point. So nevertheless, we're still going to play it out a little bit here, but I definitely think I've kind of lost this game at this point. Just an awkward start, you know, having a couple of like misplays of mine, like ultra balling the wrong things and stuff like that, coming back to bite me. And here Jeremy's just going to take a knockout on this Honchkrow GX. So at this point, I really don't even know what I can do from here. You know, I can definitely take a knockout with this Lele, which is nice, but I definitely need to get down. I definitely need to get down an energy on a Murkrow this turn. But this hand is so bad, like. So I have to just go for a Lele because I don't have a draw supporter and just play a Cynthia, and now my bench is full, but I literally just have nothing else I can do. So this feels really bad. I'm going to have to try to close out this game with a combination of Lele, this baby Honchkrow, and maybe even Tapu Koko. Alright, I do find double colorless energy. That is nice. Just trying to think, what do I attach to? I can take a knockout with this, with really a couple different things. I can use Tapu Koko, I can use Honchkrow, I can use Tapu Lele. It's just a matter of what do I want to go in with here. So looks like I'm thinking about attaching to Lele. I kind of like that just because the Honchkrow can potentially give me an out to taking a one-hit knockout on a Stunfisk at some point. So I want to kind of protect the Honchkrow. So let's see, what is Jeremy going to do? Could promote the Jirachi, but it looks like he's just going to go right for the Stunfisk. That tells me he has the energy he needs to attack with this thing. See, right now he's hitting for 120, plus the Shrine of Punishment. He needs, okay, he has the Electro Power. I was going to say he needs that or a Choice Band in order to pull this off. Here we're going to see him go for a Nest Ball. Let's see what he's going to get into play here. I'd imagine just either another Stunfisk or a Spiritomb. Not sure how many he has left. And it looks like he's just going to fail it. Very interesting. So maybe he's prized a couple, or maybe he's lost a couple and I haven't just kept track of them too well. But either way, he's still in an okay spot. He is going to take a knockout on this Tapu Lele GX. And then he's just going to be a single Guzma away from winning the game at this point. Here we're going to see a Cynthia. I don't really know what he wants too much. Maybe just trying to find a Guzma and energy for the next turn, just to set up to have game. So we're going to see a skateboard come down. Jirachi, that's definitely going to be good for him. He definitely wants to get that down in case of an unexpected Honchkrow GX. So here he is going to take a knockout with Stunfisk thanks to that Electro Power that he used. And now I'm going to play Nestball, fail it. Let's see, gonna bench a Murkrow. Have a Crushing Hammer. I do need to get that down, that is for sure. I need to try to get rid of this double colorless energy because actually I don't think I can take a knockout this turn, even with the... And interesting, I did not go for that. Okay, I remember what my line of thinking was. I was like, well, if I get another double colorless energy, I can actually just knock out this thing with Tapu Lele. So it's kind of greedy going for that, but... Yeah, I think I would have rather have seen the Crushing Hammer come down there. So, maybe another suboptimal play on my part, guys. I do apologize. Let's see what happens, though. So, I don't draw into the double colorless energy, but I do still draw back into a Hammer. So, we could potentially make something happen with that. I'm going to play the Crushing Hammer heads, so we can get rid of that double colorless energy. That'll definitely be nice. Have Field Blower, so we can actually get rid of the Shrine of Punishment and the Escape Board, which will definitely be good. Let's see. Skateboard could be relevant just in case Jeremy has a Guzma but like needs an Energy Lotto or something like that to take a knockout. So that could be a relevant tool to discard here. But here we're just going to do 40 to the Stunfisk. And all Jeremy needs at this point is going to be a double colorless energy. He can just win this game here. Or a Guzma, or really, actually doesn't need Guzma. He needs... Yeah, he wouldn't need Guzma because this thing is stuck. But he does have the double colorless energy in hand, so... He will win this one. I don't know what he's contemplating right now, but all he has to do is slap that thing down and he wins, because right now he's hitting for 150, and the Tapu Lele already has 50 on it. But he's going to get down Black Market Prism Star, and just attach the double colorless energy, and he'll be able to take a knockout on this Tapu Lele GX here. So there we go. Jeremy is going to take game 2 here. He definitely had a much better time this game since he was actually allowed to play cards in his deck. I'm sure he appreciated that. I do think there's a couple times I did maybe let that game get away from me where I could have potentially gotten back into it a bit since, you know, I think I definitely had some turns, like I mentioned, where I discarded the wrong things with Ultra Ball or maybe got too conservative with some of my plays there. But here, it looks like we're both going to take a mulligan. So let's see what's going to happen here. You know, hopefully just have a much better start than that last game. That one was pretty bad here. And I had, that is an ugly start. I mean, I'm definitely not hurting for draw supporters or anything like that, but I can either choose to start with the Lele or the Marshadow. I kind of want to keep the Marshadow just because I want to potentially go for like a let loose, unfair GX attack at some point, potentially. So let's see what's going to happen here. So Stunfisk and an Eevee. And okay, I guess I let Jeremy go first this game. Maybe just to, you know, prevent us from having just like a game where it's start Murkrow, Duskstone, and then nothing really much from there. Maybe that's what my line of thinking was. I forget whenever we recorded this. But anyways, he's going to get to go first. That's fine. That will at least make this game more interesting. We're going to have an Energy Lotto here. It's going to go for a Dark Energy. Okay. And you can see he's starting an Eevee this time. This is a card you haven't seen much of in the series so far, but this list does run a 1/1 Umbreon, and so that Dark Energy could be nice to come down on the Umbreon and you know, maybe take a return KO at some point. But here I'm just going to go for a Cynthia. Attach the double colorless energy and see what we can make happen. And unfortunately, Jeremy's turn was not too great there. Just attached. Didn't really have much else from there. No supporters or anything. So let's see. Do have Black Market Prism Star, have Crushing Hammers, have Ultra Ball. I think I might even save everything in my hand here. Like, I really don't want to get rid of anything in particular. I mean, I could go for You know, like I could discard an Ultra Ball and a supporter to get out a Murkrow. I think that's fine. So it looks like that is what I'm going to go for here. Just in case of like some really crazy shenanigans where he gets like Shrine of Punishment, like 4 Spiritombs, Choice Band, couple Electro Powers, or you know, something crazy like that. So I guess that's fine, and then from there I can just Energy Drive for 80. So even though I'm in a spot where Jeremy does have access to a lot of the cards I normally would like to lock out, he's having kind of a slow start, so I'm really not too worried about it. And this way I can set up a knockout here on this Stunfisk as well. So here's going to get down a Dark Energy on this Eevee, and going to get out that Umbreon in preparation of this Stunfisk being knocked out here. So let's see. Probably just going to see the first attack come down on this Stunfisk. It'll do 30 damage, then 10 to the Umbreon. That'll at least set up the Umbreon for at some point to maybe help a different Stunfisk be able to do more damage, potentially. I do see Electro Power in his hand as well, so he could burn some of those as well. Okay, so he is going to use the Electro Power. I think it's actually good, too, because that'll do 60 to this Lele, and then the Retaliate attack on Umbreon can actually finish it off. So he's kind of playing to his outs. It's not great, but... And here you can see I almost put down the black market, but that would actually make to where Umbreon doesn't give up a prize. But here I am going to play that Crushing Hammer and just play a Lily. So here you can see I'm very hesitant about actually putting down the black market just because that will help Jeremy here. I want to save it for when I know that I'm going to get value out of it. So here I'm just going to take a knockout on this Stunfisk. And let's see, we're going to see a Nest Ball as well. So probably going to see a Spiritomb, maybe a Jirachi if his hand is dead. I kind of like that. Let's see what he's going to go for. This is the first search of his deck, I think, so he might be just taking time to see what all he has prized. But he's going to go for the Jirachi. I do like that. His hand has been pretty dead, so I think that'll be fine. Going to get down the escape board. That's actually really nice, especially with this Honchkrow threatening a knockout in the next turn. And this Rainbow Energy is going to allow him to take the return KO, but at the same time, the Rainbow Energy actually now puts this Umbreon within range of being knocked out by Honchkrow. So here it looks like I'm going to play a Nest Ball, maybe grab an Alolan Grimer. I kind of like that if I do have the Muck in deck. Or if I have like double Duskstone, I could go for Murkrow, but here you can see I'm going straight for the Grimer. And let's see. I do have Crushing Hammer. Could do that. Let's see here. Gonna get down a Baby Buzzwole, it appears. Maybe just a thin cards out of my hand. Okay, it looks like I'm like kind of second guessing it. So here I'm gonna go for a Tapu Lele and just go for a Cynthia, I think, because I had a Lily in hand, but my hand was like kind of awkward. So this is getting a little bit greedy because it does require me to get Honchkrow plus a double colorless energy, and if I would have played down some of those cards like Black Market, Crushing Hammer, etc., I would have been able to actually maybe increase my chances of hitting what I needed. But here I still got kind of lucky, still found exactly what I needed. So we're gonna get rid of this Crushing Hammer and an Ultra Ball, go for Honchkrow. We have DC in hand, and from here we can just knock out this Umbreon. Going down to 4 prizes here. So here Jeremy is going to promote this Jirachi. So let's see what he can find. He's definitely in an awkward spot because now his, all of his key cards are going to be locked here. There's double colorless energies, there's rainbows. And here he just scoops it up. I think he just realized he didn't have too much really going on. I mean, I guess he could have found like an energy lotto potentially, but he kind of saw the writing on the wall. I think we were talking about what was in our hands or something like that, and I had the Muck too, so it was going to be kind of a tough spot from there on out. So sorry that last game wasn't too exciting, guys, but nevertheless I still think games 1 and 2 kind of showed off both these archetypes pretty well. And definitely stay tuned, we have both deck profiles coming for these decks to be posted in the coming days as well. Links will also be down below in the description whenever they go up. But yeah, guys, hope you enjoyed a look at some of these new Unbroken Bonds decks. If possible, feel free to like and subscribe, and consider supporting this channel by becoming a patron over at patreon.com/rarecandytcg, or by picking up some merch from our online store, rarecandytcg.com, like the playmats you saw in this video as an example. It would mean a lot. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.